Hello, everybody. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I'm Andy Signorn. Yesterday's Super Bowl commercials revealed one big Marvel surprise. They finally gave us the first look at Falcon and the Winter Soldier, WandaVision, and Loki. And there was something interesting with each of these teases that a lot of people are breaking down, but I wanted to give you my 2 cents to just get us excited because 3 cool things about it that I think actually do finally get me excited for these shows, because I've been on the fence. I'm like, this format of these series as MCU projects, do we need them? And while I still worry it's a little bit of filler, it's not going to be as good as some of the other stuff, I will say now, seeing 3 things teased here for each of these projects is kind of intriguing. So I still am very interested to see more. So let's break it down. First up, Captain America's shield was revealed for the new Winter Soldier, Falcon and the Winter Soldier series here. It's stuck in a tree. There's been a lot of talk about whose farmhouse this is. I've seen, looked up all the clips of the other farmhouses. There's no way that's one we've seen yet. Seems to be a new farmhouse. It's not Hawkeye's. And so TBD farmhouse. But we reveal the shield is back. And the thing that's interesting about this new show that we're watching is the government's not going to be, apparently, government's not going to be keen on just giving Falcon the mantle of Captain America. The one thing we know, and it's alluded here coming up, there's some action shots of some winged fighters, seemingly. That seems so crazy. Who would do that? But clearly we're trying to combat with the Falcon. It's hard to tell out who this is, but they got double guns. That makes them cool. And this is probably there wasn't any mountains there, so it's clearly a separate little angle. But we got Falcon fighting. We got Winter Soldier looking all clean cut, shooting at Daniel Baron Zemo. And I don't know what he's willing the bullets down. It's a cool shot with the sound effects. But then we get into some shots from Vision. Now, the interesting thing here is when we last saw him, it looks like he does still have the gem in there. And when we last saw him, you got to remember, Thanos did crush his head and made him grayscale, as you call it in Photoshop. He was grayed tones. His color was wiped out. I wonder if that last vision of Vision to Wanda is what sort of triggers this black and white look and then tone. But also sort of the old era of the comics. But interesting new look. And then we get to see her in sort of an I Love Lucy era style. It's interesting because she's an Olsen. You got to remember, she's the Olsen twins' younger sister, I think. Older sister. Anyway, she's a sister of the twins, not a triplet, but was a sister. And it's kind of fun to see sort of an older Olsen twin in sort of these sitcom settings that are coming up. But woof, like that one here, we just went through all of the eras of sort of sitcom, and there is the big reveal of her in her old classic wardrobe. Unsure if she's going out for Halloween as a witch. What is happening here? But they justify the cape with a little tie here. This is for comic fans was kind of a cool, like, oh, look, she's in the outfit. But we're clearly showing all of her styles. This feels more like Partridge Family, Brady Bunch era. This is sort of current day, it feels like. And then this one feels more like Who's the Boss, potentially Full House style with her. And then here we are. They're married. In this fake world we live in, which you got to remember, and that's very Brady Bunch. But you got to remember, this is also apparently in her head. This is the introduction of the multiverse is what's going to happen here, because they've said that this show, WandaVision, is not only the weirdest show they've made, but will obviously parlay into upcoming movies like Doctor Strange. But her sort of confused, figuring out what's going on. Where is she? She's talking to him in all sort of these eras. And then here we go, sort of her jumping from TV world to her in present day with the black and white Vision. She's trying to make sense of this all. I imagine this is all in her mind. But again, WandaVision, I'm very curious to see how they handle this show and how much narrative storytelling there is. Apparently a lot of it is on a sitcom set with a real audience, which is a really clever way for them to save some money too. But the universe is expanding is then what they tell us. And then here, this is an important moment, football shot. And we have a character that looks like Captain America, but that's not Falcon. This is our first tease of what we should be looking into. This is a character named U.S. Agent. and played by Wyatt Russell. You can see sort of these pictures here closer. This is sort of the government's new version of Captain America once they hear that Captain America is gone, and apparently it's not Falcon. So there's been talk about, because, there's a racial storyline that they may be following here, that they're not as open to him. Again, nothing's confirmed, but it seems they do have a new Captain America, U.S. soldier here, U.S. agent rather, with another shield. And if you look up, you can learn more about this character. I was not familiar with this character, but this is sort of what one expects. And I don't want to get into potential spoilers because you can spoil the comics, but there's an interesting plot line here with U.S. Agent that you can go down if you want to learn more about it. But this part of the ad clearly showing U.S. Agent with some sort of Avengers logo here, right? Some Avengers halftime show at some sort of play. And there we go. Falcon and the Winter Soldier is first up. And look, I'm on board. I like a good the cinema looking shots. It doesn't look cheap. It does look like a movie so far. Granted, we're not seeing a lot, but this does look like they're keeping the quality in check, which I hope they're shooting the same way. Now, WandaVision, this one's gonna be weird, and this is the most telling shot here because you have I call them binkies, pacifiers popping up, 1 and 2. You got 1 and 2 binkies jumping up, 2 cribs, mind you. And both of them sort of in Full House, Family Ties sort of attire. And this reveals a massively potential big plot thread from the comics of when Vision and Wanda had twins. Nobody thinks of a birth of anything but a happy beginning. 3 days later at home. There we go. Now this you can learn about. There's a lot of resources where you can learn about this storyline. But I will say this: it gets dark. Again, I don't want to spoil where the plot line goes, but I will say this allows them to go in a very interesting place. It could be a very depressing place. And I don't want to completely spoil where things go, but it does get weird, there's a point where this guy has baby arms. Anyway, you can look this up. I mean, it's easy to find where they are, what's happening here, but look with caution as to what this plot line is, because there's a lot there. But there's 2 boys, Thomas and William, that are born by Wanda in the comics, but there's more to it, and that's all I'll say. But all I'm saying is there's enough there to play with it, that this could be a full-on plot point, or it could just be something that they touch upon based off the comics in sort of a fun way as sort of an episode or 2, but then they could figure out a way to not have to suddenly have 2 twins the whole time. There's, again, like I said, it's a complicated storyline, but it's an interesting one. So the fact that they're sort of embracing that, though, is pretty interesting and telling. And they could go a completely different way, knowing Marvel. They could decide to borrow the element, but then just make it something else. And then here we go with Loki with their ever-changing logo. And this seemed like just one cool shot of Loki talking and saying, I'm going to break the hell out of this place. But what was very interesting was this logo, TVA. And for those who aren't versed, that is the Time Variance Authority, which many sites also are breaking down. It's easy to grab these. You can look up what this means, but basically they're like time cops. They sort of keep track on, that the timeline stays the same, and you can learn more about it. Obviously, it works sometimes, it works otherwise, but them introducing this into the world is interesting. They're a faceless bureaucracy. Most of its agents are artificial clones called chronomonitors. And so, look, this is an interesting idea that they're introducing to the world that I'm intrigued by. Everything we know about Loki, it's that we are now in sort of a quantum leap type of show. But this would make sense that he's sort of stuck in this time prison. It's like the Speed Force and Flash. And like, you got to be careful of where you go and not wrecking the timelines of Marvel. And so he's like, I'm going to just wreck the hell out of this place. It sort of sets it all up for what is in store. So I like that idea. I like this, and it looks cool. This is the one that's coming out furthest. This is coming out spring of 2021. Captain America, I keep calling it, it's the dumbest title. Falcon and the Winter Soldier is coming out, I believe, in August is now what they're saying. They pushed it up. And then now there's talk WandaVision will come out in the fall, at the same time as Mandalorian season 2. They're trying to get more content out quicker to sort of satisfy the demand. But interesting move for there. We got a couple other cool little stills here. Again, it does look like, it's hard to tell without the color, but it does look like he's got the gem, which is odd. We got a nice high five. Again, not the same. Everyone thinks this is Hawkeye's farm. It's not. They found yet another farm. And there we go. All exclusively on Disney Plus. Who's excited? There you go. That's all that got data we got. We got 3 interesting teases here for where the MCU is headed. Time variance, authority. We got the twins, Wanda and Vision, having kids. How does that happen, you might ask? Well, go read the comics if you want to spoil it. And then also we got a U.S. agent as an interesting potential rival and could be bad guy, good, who knows? But someone who's not, clearly Falcon's like, wait, Cap said I'm the one. Why? Who's this guy? The government's controlling that one? That doesn't sound like a good idea, does it? Those are clearly 3 plot lines that you can expect in these Disney Plus series from Marvel. Which one are you most excited about? I want to hear you engage down in the comments down below. Hit me up on social media as usual. Please slam that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, join, and all that other stuff. And stay tuned for more nerdy coverage coming from me, as always, here on Popcorn Planet. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Bye-bye.